Listen to me carefully, because this might be the most important message you hear today. Life is not destroyed by storms you see coming, but by the snakes hiding in the grass you didn't notice. The people you allow close to you will either make you or break you. They will either fuel your fire or drain your soul. Success is never stolen by enemies. It is poisoned by friends who smile at you while secretly pulling you down. Every second of your life is precious. And if you do not guard your circle, you will waste your energy fighting invisible battles created by people who don't want to see you rise. You cannot win a war carrying dead weight, and you cannot fly when you are chained to anchors disguised as companions. Some people will never clap for you, some will never respect you, and some will never want you to outgrow them. The faster you identify these dangerous types, the faster you protect your destiny. Weak company destroys strong vision. Understand this, your future is fragile, and it depends on who surrounds you. Cut off the wrong people without hesitation, because loyalty to toxicity is nothing but self-destruction. Every single one of us has met that person, the one who never sees the light in anything, the one who can turn sunshine into rain, who takes every blessing and finds the curse inside it. They live in negativity. And the worst part is they want to pull you into it with them. These are the constant complainers, and you must understand they are more dangerous than you realize. You might think they're harmless. Just someone venting. Just someone expressing their feelings. But the truth is their words are poison. Every time they complain, they plant seeds of doubt in your mind. They water your fears. They remind you of your failures, and they distract you from your goals. Misery loves company. And these people cannot survive alone, so they will do whatever it takes to drag you into their pit of frustration and despair. Think about it. A complainer never shows you solutions. They only magnify problems. If you tell them you want to start a business, they'll list 100 reasons why it won't work. If you tell them you want to move forward in life, they'll remind you of everyone who failed before you. If you tell them you want to take a risk, they'll immediately talk about danger, struggle, and pain. They think they're being realistic, but what they're actually doing is crushing your spirit. Their so-called realism is just a disguise for fear, weakness, and a life they never had the courage to chase. And the danger is this: spend enough time with them and their voice becomes your own. You'll start doubting yourself, questioning your dreams, lowering your standards, and before you know it, you're living their life. A life of excuses, complaints, and wasted potential. A complainer does not want solutions. Understand that clearly. They don't complain because they're looking for answers. They complain because complaining gives them identity. It makes them feel alive. It makes them feel heard. It makes them feel like victims, and victims always attract attention. They feed off sympathy. They feed off your energy when you stop your progress to listen, to comfort, to agree. But the more you give them attention, the more they grow and the more they drain you. They are not looking for change. They are looking for confirmation that life is unfair, that nothing works, and that trying is useless. They want you to validate their misery, and once you do, they own a part of you. Let me tell you something powerful. Life is already hard. You will face challenges, failures, heartbreaks, and obstacles without anyone else adding weight to your shoulders. The last thing you need is someone whispering negativity in your ear every single day. Because negativity spreads like fire. It burns your motivation. It kills your hunger. It smothers your ambition. You cannot allow someone's constant complaints to become your background noise. Protect your environment with the same intensity you protect your health. You wouldn't drink poison just because a friend offered it to you. So why would you let poison words enter your mind every single day? If you truly want to succeed, you must learn to recognize these people instantly. Notice how they always have something wrong, always something unfair, always something missing. They wake up angry at the world. They go to bed blaming life, and they never see their own responsibility in anything. They complain about their job, but never work harder. They complain about their relationships, but never change themselves. They complain about money, but never take action to earn more. They are addicted to the problem because it excuses them from effort. And if you let them, they will make you believe that effort is useless too. Misery is contagious. Spend enough time with someone who hates life, and eventually you'll hate life too. Surround yourself with complainers, and you'll start complaining even when you don't need to. You'll develop the same habit because the human brain absorbs the patterns it's exposed to. If all you hear is failure, you'll stop believing in success. If all you hear is complaints, you'll stop being grateful. Gratitude and growth cannot survive in the same space as constant negativity. That's why complainers are dangerous. They don't just talk. They transform you into them. You need to ask yourself, who are you becoming because of the people around you? If your circle is filled with complainers, then slowly, without realizing, you will become one of them. You'll start expecting the worst, doubting opportunities, laughing at dreams, and treating ambition like a joke. You'll kill your own potential without even realizing it. But if your circle is filled with problem solvers, with dreamers, with warriors who see obstacles as challenges, then you'll rise higher every single day. That is the power of environment. That is why cutting off complainers isn't cruelty, it's survival. Some of you are too loyal to the wrong people. You think, I can't leave them, they're my friend, they're family. But ask yourself, what does that loyalty cost you? How many times have you sacrificed your peace listening to someone who refuses to change? How many times have you wasted energy encouraging someone who never takes a step forward? How many times have you silenced your own dreams because their voice of complaint was louder than your voice of courage? You owe yourself more than that. Protect your mind like you protect your future, because they are the same. Understand this truth. You are not responsible for fixing complainers. You cannot change someone who is committed to their misery. You cannot save someone who doesn't want to be saved. And you cannot elevate someone who is addicted to staying on the ground. The more time you waste trying, the more you sink with them. The best gift you can give yourself is distance. Let them complain alone while you rise in silence. Let them cry about problems while you build solutions. Let them stay in misery while you run toward greatness. Life is too short to spend in conversations that drain you. Your energy is your currency, and complainers are thieves. They steal your fire without giving anything back. The moment you cut them off, you'll feel lighter, stronger, freer. Your thoughts will be clearer, your focus sharper, your motivation higher, because once you remove the noise, you can finally hear your own voice again. And that voice is not made for complaining, it's made for conquering. So the next time you encounter the constant complainer, don't argue, don't debate, don't waste your time trying to inspire them. Simply understand what they are, a danger to your destiny, and then make the choice to walk away, because your future, your dreams, and your purpose are too important to be drowned out by someone else's misery. Misery may love company, but you don't have to be that company. Choose progress, choose power, choose peace. And when you do, you'll realize that life is too beautiful to waste on complaints and too short to be lived in the shadow of negativity. Jealousy is one of the most dangerous poisons a human heart can carry. And when it exists in someone close to you, it is even more deadly. A jealous friend is not an enemy you can easily spot. They don't come to you with knives in their hands. They come with smiles on their faces. They act like they celebrate you, but deep down, they resent every step you take forward, every victory you achieve, every blessing that comes your way. Envy is silent sabotage. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It doesn't strike openly. It corrodes quietly, eating away at the foundation of trust until one day you realize the person you thought was cheering for you has been rooting for your downfall all along. You see, jealousy is dangerous because it hides behind fake support. A jealous friend will clap when you win, but listen carefully, because their clap will be slower, their smile thinner, their eyes colder. They will say the right words, but the energy will always feel wrong. That's because deep inside they compare your success to their failure. And every time you rise, it reminds them of how little they've moved in life. Instead of being inspired by your growth, they are infected by resentment. They don't see your effort, your struggle, your sacrifices. All they see is your results. And instead of saying, I'm proud of you, their soul whispers, why not me? The jealous friend is dangerous because they don't just envy you, they begin to sabotage you. Sometimes it's subtle. They throw in small comments to make you doubt yourself. They highlight your flaws more than your strengths. They bring up your past failures when you're about to make a bold move. Other times it's direct. They talk behind your back. They downplay your success in front of others. They secretly hope you stumble so they can feel better about their own stagnation. And the scariest part? Often you don't even notice because you trust them. You confide in them. You share your plans, your dreams, your deepest goals. And with that information, they hold the power to either uplift you or poison you. Imagine telling someone about the vision you have for your life. And instead of fueling your fire, they throw cold water on it with words like, are you sure? That sounds risky. I don't think you're ready. What if it fails? At first, you might think they care, that they're just being cautious. But what you don't see is that their caution is not for your safety. It's for their comfort. Because if you rise too high, if you grow too fast, if you win too big, then their own excuses for staying small no longer hold weight. Your success exposes their lack of action, and so they will do everything they can to make sure you don't go too far ahead. Envy turns friends into enemies in disguise. A jealous friend will never truly want what's best for you. They want you to do well, but never better than them. They want you to shine, but never too brightly. They want you to win, but only if your win doesn't make them feel like a loser. This is why keeping jealous friends close is one of the most dangerous mistakes you can make. Because your victories are not safe around them. Your dreams are not safe around them. Your future is not safe around them. And if you are not careful, you will unconsciously shrink yourself to make them comfortable. You'll dim your light so they don't feel overshadowed. You'll lower your standards so they don't feel insecure. You'll slow down your journey so they don't feel left behind. And in doing so, you destroy yourself for the sake of keeping them close. Understand this. True friends will never be jealous. True friends will push you to go further, celebrate your wins as if they were their own, and use your success as fuel to chase their own dreams. They will not feel threatened by your greatness. They will be inspired by it. But jealous friends, they will look at your greatness and feel pain. And pain in the wrong heart breeds destruction. One of the hardest lessons in life is realizing that not everyone clapping for you wants you to win. Some are clapping because they're waiting for you to fail so they can say, I knew it. Some are clapping because they don't want to be exposed as the ones who never tried. Some are clapping because they're close enough to enjoy your light, but secretly hoping it burns out. This is why discernment is everything. You must learn to read energy, to watch actions, not just words. Does your friend truly celebrate you, or do they always change the subject back to themselves? Do they encourage you to go bigger, or do they always remind you of limits? Do they stand with you in public, or do they shrink you when you're not around? The answers to these questions will expose jealousy every time. Envy is silent sabotage, and sometimes the only way to protect yourself is to create distance. That doesn't mean you need to fight them. It doesn't mean you need to expose them. It doesn't mean you need to waste your breath trying to change them. It simply means you must protect your space. You cannot build empires around people who secretly want them to crumble. You cannot soar while carrying anchors disguised as friends. You cannot become who you are meant to be while surrounded by people who resent who you are becoming. Cutting off jealous friends might hurt, but staying around them will kill your destiny. And here's the harsh truth. Jealousy only grows. If you ignore it, it doesn't disappear, it festers. The more you rise, the more they hate. The more you succeed, the more bitter they become. And one day, that bitterness can turn into betrayal. So never underestimate envy. It is one of the most destructive forces in human relationships. Empires, families, partnerships, even entire nations have been destroyed because of envy. If it can destroy kings and leaders, it can destroy you too, if you let it. So remember this, a jealous friend is not a friend at all. They are a silent enemy sitting at your table, waiting for their chance to strike. And the only way to win is to recognize them early and walk away. Protect your peace, protect your vision, protect your future. Surround yourself only with those who want to see you win, without condition, without competition, without insecurity, because those are the people who will fuel your greatness. And as for the jealous ones, let them watch from a distance as you rise higher than they ever imagined, because your success is not their problem. It is their mirror. And if they choose to hate you for shining, then let their hate burn in the darkness while you keep walking in the light. There is a special kind of danger that hides behind charm, excitement, and endless talk, the lazy dreamer. This is the person who will sit with you for hours fantasizing about greatness, building castles in the sky, and filling your ears with promises of big moves and massive plans. They sound ambitious, they sound inspired, they sound like visionaries, but the truth is they are nothing more than dreamers who refuse to put in the work. And what makes them dangerous is that they will pull you into the same cycle of fantasy and stagnation if you are not careful. They drag you into a world where everything is someday, nothing is today. They love the idea of success, but they hate the price of it. Lazy dreamers are masters of conversation. They know how to excite you, how to paint vivid pictures of what the future could look like, how to keep you motivated by simply imagining possibilities. But when the time comes to act, to sacrifice, to wake up early, to grind, to sweat, to face failure and push forward, they vanish. They disappear behind excuses. They delay. They procrastinate. They hide behind, I'll do it tomorrow, until tomorrow becomes years and years become wasted lives. And if you stick around them too long, you will begin to mirror them. You will start talking more about your dreams than working on them. You'll start celebrating plans instead of results. You'll get addicted to the feeling of inspiration without ever tasting the reality of achievement. The lazy dreamer is dangerous because they create an illusion of progress. Sitting around and talking about dreams can feel productive, but it is not. Planning endlessly without execution is nothing but mental entertainment. These people confuse excitement with effort. They confuse dreaming with doing. And if you allow them to stay in your circle, they will trap you in the same deception. You'll spend hours discussing how life could be, but you'll wake up in the same place every morning going nowhere fast. Another trap of the lazy dreamer is that they will always find someone to blame for their lack of action. They'll say, I had this great idea, but the timing wasn't right. Or I was about to start, but people didn't support me. Or I'll begin once I have more money, more connections, more energy. Excuse after excuse, delay after delay. They build a wall around themselves made entirely of reasons why they can't move. And the more time you spend with them, the more you'll start believing those excuses yourself. You'll start thinking you need the perfect timing, the perfect support, the perfect circumstances to begin. But success doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It only comes to those who act now, with what they have, where they are. Lazy dreamers are dream killers in disguise. They will never admit it, but their lack of discipline infects you. Their habit of procrastination becomes contagious. Their comfort zone becomes a cage that they'll lock you in. And because you care about them, because you're loyal, because you don't want to outgrow them, you'll stay inside that cage too. And before you realize it, years of your life will be wasted. Not because you didn't have the talent, not because you didn't have the vision, but because you surrounded yourself with people who refuse to act. Here is a brutal truth. Success requires sweat. Dreams demand sacrifice. Vision without execution is hallucination. The lazy dreamer doesn't want to hear this, and that's why they're dangerous. They love motivation, but they hate discipline. They love goals, but they despise routine. They love imagining the reward, but they refuse to pay the price. And that mindset is poison if it seeps into you. Because real winners don't talk forever. They take action. They don't sit around waiting. They build. They don't romanticize the journey. They live it, step by step, day by day. Ask yourself this. How many people do you know who have been talking about the same dream for years, but they're still in the same position? They say they want to start a business, but they've never filed the paperwork. They say they want to get fit, but they never hit the gym consistently. They say they want financial freedom, but they still waste money on distractions every weekend. They say they want to write a book, travel the world, or change their life, but nothing ever changes. That is the lazy dreamer. Their dreams are cheap because they cost them nothing. And if you're not careful, they will convince you that endless dreaming is enough, when the truth is only action builds destiny. You must protect yourself from this trap. Do not confuse passion-filled talk with progress. Do not confuse inspiration with execution. Do not confuse plans with results. A lazy dreamer will have you wasting months, even years, because they make you feel like you're moving forward when in reality, you're standing still. And life is too short to stand still. Every day wasted in stagnation is a day stolen from your future. What makes the lazy dreamer even more dangerous is their need for company. Just like complainers seek people to share their misery, lazy dreamers seek people to share their fantasies. They don't want to feel guilty for not acting, so they surround themselves with others who are content to just talk and dream. If you join them, you will become one of them. But if you separate yourself and begin to act, they will resent you. They'll say, you've changed, because your action exposes their inaction. They'll say, you think you're better than us, because your growth highlights their stagnation. And at that point, you have a choice: shrink back to make them comfortable, or keep rising and leave them behind. The truth is simple. If you want to succeed, your circle must be filled with doers, not dreamers. You need people who will push you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. People who talk less and work more. People who live by results, not excuses. Because success is not built on fantasy. It's built on focus, effort, and consistency. Surround yourself with those who act, and you will act. Surround yourself with those who wait, and you will wait. And the longer you wait, the more your life slips away. Never forget this. Dreams are beautiful, but dreams without action are nightmares in disguise. They give you hope without progress, vision without fulfillment, potential without reality. The lazy dreamer is trapped in that nightmare, and if you let them, they will trap you too. Protect your time, protect your energy, protect your future. Stop entertaining people who only want to talk about success but refuse to bleed for it. Walk away from the lazy dreamer and run toward the doers, the grinders, the warriors who wake up every day hungry for more. Because in the end, it is not the dreamers who change the world. It is the workers. There is nothing more fragile, nothing more sacred in human connection than trust. Trust is the foundation of friendship, love, loyalty, and business. It is the invisible thread that ties hearts together and allows people to move as one. But once that thread is cut, once it is damaged, it can never truly be restored. And this is why liars are among the most dangerous people you will ever encounter. A liar destroys the very foundation on which all relationships are built. When someone lies to you, they are not just hiding the truth, they are breaking your ability to ever feel safe with them again. They are stealing your peace of mind, your confidence, your sense of certainty. And once trust is broken, it rarely ever returns to its original strength. The danger of the liar is that they can wear many masks. Some lie to protect themselves. Some lie to manipulate you. Some lie because it gives them control. And some lie simply because it has become part of who they are. No matter the reason, the result is the same: deception. When a liar is in your circle, you are never standing on solid ground. Every word you hear comes with doubt. Every promise they make carries suspicion. Every story they tell leaves you wondering if it is truth or fiction. And living in that kind of uncertainty is toxic for the soul. It drains your energy, it makes you paranoid, and it prevents you from fully building with someone because deep down you know they cannot be trusted. The liar is more dangerous than the enemy who declares war openly. An enemy you can see, an enemy who hates you, you know where they stand. But a liar? They operate in shadows. They smile while deceiving. They hug you while hiding a knife. They claim loyalty while secretly betraying you. And because you trust them, their lies hit harder, deeper, more painfully than any attack from the outside. It is not strangers who break your heart. It is liars close to you who do. Think about what happens when trust is shattered. The mind begins to replay every moment, every conversation, every detail. You start to wonder, how long were they lying? What else did they hide? What was real? What was fake? That mental torture is heavier than the lie itself. And even if they apologize, even if they swear they will never do it again, the damage is already done. Because now every word they speak carries a shadow. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you want to believe them again, your soul will always whisper, "Remember last time?" That whisper never goes away. This is why trust once broken never returns to its original form. At best, it becomes patched together. But patched trust is not trust. It is caution. It is doubt disguised as forgiveness. It is love with one foot out the door, always waiting for the next lie. Liars destroy unity. They destroy families, friendships, teams, and empires. How many businesses have collapsed because of dishonesty? How many marriages have been ruined because of hidden truths? How many friendships have ended not because of mistakes, but because of lies about those mistakes? A single lie can undo years of loyalty. One dishonest act can erase countless good memories. That is the power of dishonesty. It burns faster than truth can build. And here's the harsh truth. Once a liar shows you who they are, believe them. Stop making excuses. Stop thinking they will change. Stop convincing yourself that their lies are harmless. Because lying is not just an action, it is a character flaw. And if someone is willing to lie once, they are willing to lie again. You may not know when, you may not know how, but the habit is in them. And trusting a liar is like building a house on sand. It may look strong, but it will collapse the moment pressure comes. What makes liars especially dangerous is that they use your trust as a weapon. They take advantage of the fact that you believe them. They know you will give them the benefit of the doubt. They know you won't question every word. And because of that, they have the ability to manipulate your reality. They can twist facts, hide truths, and bend stories until you no longer know what's real. They can make you doubt yourself, your instincts, your memory. And when someone makes you question your own reality, they don't just lie to you, they control you. That is the ultimate danger. You must protect yourself from liars at all costs. Guard your life against people who cannot be honest, because a liar steals more than truth. They steal time. Every day spent with someone dishonest is a day wasted in illusion. They steal opportunities because you cannot build something solid with shaky hands. They steal peace because you can never rest easy with someone who constantly forces you to wonder if they're telling the truth. And the longer you tolerate them, the more damage they do. The most painful part about lies is that they rarely come from enemies. They come from people you loved, people you trusted, people you never expected to betray you. That is why lies cut so deep. The stranger who lies to you cannot hurt you much, but the friend who lies to your face, the partner who lies behind your back, the family member who lies when you needed honesty the most, that is the kind of lie that leaves scars. And scars of betrayal never fully fade. So what do you do when you discover a liar in your life? You remove them, not out of hate, but out of self-respect. Because your time, your peace, your future are too valuable to waste on people who cannot be trusted. Don't let pity make you keep them close. Don't let fear of loneliness trap you in dishonesty. And don't let loyalty to the wrong person cost you loyalty to yourself. Sometimes the most powerful act of self-love is walking away from the liar without looking back. Understand this clearly. Trust is not something that can be rebuilt to its original purity. Once the glass is cracked, it may be glued back together, but the crack remains. And every time pressure comes, that crack reminds you its weakness. Relationships with liars are like broken glass. You may hold on, but you will keep cutting yourself. Let go, walk away, and surround yourself with people who honor truth as much as you do, because life is hard enough without deception. You need allies who are honest, partners who are transparent, friends who speak truth even when it hurts. That is how you grow. That is how you rise. That is how you build. Anything less is wasted energy. The liar is not just someone to avoid. They are someone to eliminate from your space completely, because without truth, there is no trust. Without trust, there is no loyalty. Without loyalty, there is no bond. And without bonds, there is no future. So remember this. Protect your life from lies like you protect your body from poison. Never tolerate dishonesty in your circle, because when trust breaks, it doesn't just take the liar with it. It takes a part of you too, and your soul, your peace, your destiny are too valuable to sacrifice for someone who cannot honor the simplest, most powerful thing of all, the truth. There are people in this world who don't steal your money, who don't steal your possessions, who don't steal your opportunities, yet they leave you completely drained, lifeless, and broken. These are the energy vampires, and they are far more dangerous than thieves, because what they take from you cannot be replaced. You can always earn money again. You can rebuild possessions. You can recover from setbacks. But once your energy is gone, once your focus is stolen, once your spirit is exhausted, you are finished. Energy is the fuel of life. It is what drives your ambition, powers your dreams, and keeps your soul alive when the world tries to break you. And if you allow the wrong people to keep feeding on it, you will find yourself empty, crawling through life with nothing left to give. Energy vampires don't always look dangerous. In fact, many of them come disguised as friends, family, partners, or co-workers. They can be the ones closest to you, smiling, laughing, acting as if they care, while every interaction with them leaves you feeling weaker, heavier, and emptier than before. They might not even realize they are doing it, but the effect is the same. You lose your fire, your focus, your drive. 1 hour with an energy vampire can undo days of progress. One conversation can crush your motivation. One relationship can destroy years of hard work, because instead of pouring into you, they are constantly taking from you. The danger of the energy vampire is that they never stop feeding. The more you give, the more they take. They thrive on your attention, your emotions, your time, your strength. They want you to be their therapist, their cheerleader, their savior, their constant source of comfort and entertainment. But when it's your turn to need them, they are nowhere to be found. They are not givers, they are takers. They do not pour back into you, they drain you. And once they have taken all they can, they will leave you behind and search for their next victim. Ask yourself this: how many times have you walked away from someone feeling completely exhausted, even though you didn't do anything physically demanding? How many times have you answered a phone call, and by the time you hung up, you felt like life was heavier, darker, and more hopeless than before? How many times have you left a conversation doubting yourself, second-guessing your choices, or questioning your worth? That is the effect of an energy vampire. They don't just take your strength, they replace it with doubt, negativity, and chaos. Energy vampires come in many forms. Some are constant complainers who unload every problem on you but never take action to change. Some are manipulators who guilt trip you into giving more of yourself than you should. Some are dramatic, always surrounded by chaos, dragging you into their storms and making their problems your problems. Some are overly needy, demanding your time, attention, and presence until you have nothing left for yourself. And some are subtle. They smile and pretend to support you, but they constantly inject small doses of negativity into your life, leaving you questioning your path and lowering your energy day by day. You must understand that your energy is your most valuable currency. With energy, you can achieve anything. Without it, you can have all the talent, all the opportunity, all the resources in the world, and still fail. Energy is what fuels focus, discipline, creativity, and persistence. That's why energy vampires are so dangerous. They don't just drain you emotionally, they cripple your ability to build your future. A distracted, exhausted, unfocused version of you will never reach your potential. Energy vampires thrive on unguarded hearts. They target people who are kind, who care, who want to help, who feel guilty saying no. And if that's you, you must wake up now. You cannot save everyone. You cannot carry everyone's burdens. You cannot sacrifice your future to keep people who refuse to grow comfortable in their misery. Every time you allow an energy vampire to drain you, you are giving them power over your destiny. You are handing them hours of your life you will never get back. Here is the hard truth. Some people will never change, no matter how much of yourself you pour into them. They don't want solutions. They want attention. They don't want healing. They want sympathy. They don't want growth. They want excuses. And if you keep feeding them, they will keep taking until there is nothing left of you. This is why you must set boundaries with steel, not paper. Learn to say no without guilt. Learn to walk away without apology. Learn to protect your focus like it is oxygen, because it is. Energy vampires hate boundaries. The moment you stop giving them constant access, they will get angry. They will accuse you of being selfish, of not caring, of abandoning them. But understand this. Selfish is not protecting yourself. Selfish is expecting others to destroy themselves for your comfort. Energy vampires are experts at flipping the narrative to make you feel guilty, but you must stand strong. You are not obligated to be drained for someone else's survival. You have a life to live, a purpose to fulfill, a destiny to chase. And if they cannot respect your boundaries, then they do not deserve your presence. Protecting your energy is not cruelty. It is survival. You cannot pour into others if you are empty. You cannot build greatness if you are drained. You cannot lead, love, or live fully if your soul is constantly being bled dry by people who refuse to carry their own weight. You owe it to yourself, to your dreams, and to the people who truly need you to stay strong, focused, and alive. That means cutting off the vampires, no matter who they are, no matter how long you've known them, no matter what excuses they make, because your destiny cannot afford to be delayed by people who refuse to grow. When you distance yourself from energy vampires, something incredible happens. Suddenly, your mind is clearer, your spirit is lighter,